Hi, this is Brian Aldrich with 4th Street Software, and today I'm going to show you a little bit about the 4th Street Hockey Schedule editor. And I've already got a season open here. This one is the 2010-2011 season. And over on the right-hand side, this is the mini scheduler. Now, there's a larger version of this that has a few more options in it. Right up here, available in the toolbar. So you can click the schedule editor. And this is how you can build games. You can do all sorts of stuff in here. For example, right now we are playing on October 7th. If I would like to start the season just a little bit earlier and maybe give one team a chance to play a game here, I can go ahead and click on a couple of them here. So the first team you click on, or double click on more appropriately, will go ahead and be your visitor. The second team will be the home team. You don't see it pop up there because it just automatically enters the game into the list of games to play. If you'd like to play this game and make it active, you leave it as checked. If you want to bypass it, you can just leave it as unchecked. All right, I'm going to go ahead and remove that game though, because I don't really want to mess up the rest of my schedule here. So right now you can see I've got all these games ready to play on October 7th. If I switch to October 8th, I can see those and so on and so forth. You can zoom ahead on the calendar a month or two and see what's going to happen down the road. All right, let's go back to October 7th here though, first of all. Now, all of the games by default have been selected to be played. If you would like to change that, you can select none of them. So as the tooltip says there, I'm going to deselect all games. And I've just done that. Okay, now if I'd like to play just the games for Minnesota, I can just go ahead and click on them. And then over here on the left-hand side, we have select all games for that team. And as you can see, Carolina and Minnesota will be played. The others will not. Now, let's say that you are interested in maybe a season replay here, and you want to run the Minnesota Wild and have all the other games auto-played. Well, the way to do that, first of all, I'm going to select none again, so I've just cleared out the entire schedule. And let's go ahead and pick all the games here, except you notice that Carolina at Minnesota has been selected to be played. Let's go ahead and unselect the Minnesota games. So I go in here, click on that. Now I've just gotten rid of that game. So if I were to go back and start playing here, it would begin with Chicago at Colorado. After that game is played, it would go ahead into this, and then it would bypass the Carolina at Minnesota game and go straight to Philadelphia at Pittsburgh, etc., etc. Okay, now if you do this, you probably don't want to play the entire season out by computer and then begin the season anew with Minnesota because everybody else will have already played 70, 75, 80 games, whatever it happens to be. So you can set a playthrough date here, at which time the program will automatically stop. So, for example, right now we're on October 7th. If I want to just play the first, few days here through October 16th, I can go ahead and click on the 16th, and then down here, select my playthrough date as October 16th. And the program will play all the games that have been marked here for play up until that date. If you would rather only play it for the 7th, then we can just set the playthrough date for that, and so on and so forth. Okay, so now, as this thing plays out, and as it plays the games, each of these is going to be checked off one by one. All right, so if I've set my playthrough date through 10/7, it's going to play all 4 of those games, but not this one. So now I can go back, click on that, and go ahead and play this game manually if I so choose. So that's how you can set these up here. There is also, as long as we're in this module, a beta edition of an auto schedule program. This thing works pretty well so long as the divisions that you've set up are symmetrical. That is, they all have the same number of teams. So if you have 2 conferences or 1 conference and a series of divisions, you probably don't want to have 7 in one and 10 in another, or so on and so forth, because that simply isn't going to work very well with this, in the beta form at least. So you need to set the number of games you're going to play, and I'm not going to do this right now because this schedule has already been set up, but there's 30 teams in this league, as you can see, and we've got a start date set up, the months in the season. What that'll do is spread them out, so to speak, so you have 1 or 2 days rest between games. And then you can set up on how many games you want to set up here for everything. So the home games versus your divisional opponent, home games versus your other conference opponents, home games versus non-conference opponents, etc. And it'll go ahead and do that if you hit the auto schedule button. All right, now let's go back to the mini schedule here a little bit. It's got very similar options and whatnot associated with it as the large schedule. The only big difference is that you can't really create games with this. So you need to go in and use the regular schedule editor to do that. But as you can see, I've got my playthrough date. And another thing that I didn't show you on the other screen was the jump to date. So let's say that we're starting out here on the 7th, and I'm chug-a-lugging, I got all these done. I'm going to go to the 8th, and I've played all these games, so on and so forth. Okay, now we're going to get to the 9th. I'm going to set the jump to date to the 9th. Now, I'm going to just exit out of here for a moment and restart the program here just to show you what functionality this has, and we'll load up that 2010-11 season, and as you can see, it's automatically gone to the first day of the season, which is October 7th. If I would like to jump to the new set of games, I can just hit the jump button and it'll go ahead and jump to the pre-specified date that I had set earlier. So it's a little bit of a time saver, and it helps you kind of bookmark where you're at. Okay, now another option you've got is the show box score, and so let's check that out here for a second. Now I haven't actually played any games in this season, so I'm going to go and open up a different season. This is from 2006-2007, and this will give you an automatic snapshot of what happened. First of all, if the game had been played, the program searches into the database of played games here and finds the file, the GameStat file, and it extracts a score automatically so that you can see what the outcome of those games were. Second of all, if you'd like a little bit more information, so let's go in here. We got the Tampa Bay Lightning against Atlanta, Tampa won 2-1. If I click on Show, it'll show me a box score and generate automatically a little box score of what happened here. So I can see that Le Cavalier scored here, Dupuis and Richards, so on and so forth. We got some penalties there. This is kind of a breakdown of all the stuff that occurred during the game. You can see down at the bottom here that Tampa shot 26 times, Atlanta only shot 25. And you can also generate a log. So this is a play-by-play log of what happened during that game. It's a little large in this window, so you have to scroll a little bit to see everything that happened. But it's just a nice little option that will allow you to take a gander into what happened here during a game.